good, God, good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it happens to be for you. The first sound I've made on this stream is cough, and that's just gonna have to be fine. Welcome back to the Crimson Diamond. It's been a while since I last played. So I hope I still remember what I'm doing. I sincerely hope I still remember what I'm doing, because if I don't, that might be a bit of a problem. I'm gonna turn my fan speed down. I don't think you guys can hear it, but I'd like to have it disrupting as little as possible. So let's load our save in. Whoop. Told the fuzz. Is what I left it at. So, we're back in the red. Yes. I forgot. I instinctively went for WASD because I forgot the movement. Arrow keys or clicking is the movement here. Okay, I have to consult the notebook. Marco never ate garlic. Okay. Fingerprints. Thoroughly investigate the jetty and smokehouse areas. And report your findings to Nathan. Oh wait, that's something I've already done, isn't it? Or is that a goal? Identify the owner button. Oh, the X's are examined. So I suppose I'll go back to the smokehouse, see if there's anything around there that I have missed. Also, hang on. About German book. Can't use German. Tell Ranger about Alfred's book. Can't. That's not his room. No, Albert. Wrong name. His name's Albert, not Alfred. Excuse me? About Albert's book. You have nothing compelling to say about that. Okay. Because the thing is, something I noticed last time was that Albert claims to be Belgian. However, the book in his room I recognized the title of it was actually written in German. They do not speak German in Belgium in the time period of the game, and don't really still to this day. Um, so for a German to claim that they're Belgium in the time period this is set, i.e., early 1914, incredibly suspicious, especially considering the game is set in Canada. Examined would not benefit. Scratches. Advanced text. Busy in here. This cutscene again. Of course. Who was involved in the scene I found at the jetty? Okay. Rope. Utterly undoable knots. Liquid here is yet to be absorbed into the dock. Even in the moonlight, you can see it's the golden yellow and that it's whisking. What a waste. Definitely alcohol, not river water. Mr. Richards was here not that long ago. If he'd drunkenly fallen into the river, I'd expect to see watermarks on the jetty, where his impacts caused splashes. Besides the spilled alcohol, the jetty is dry. Okay. Yep. On closer examination of the fingerprint you obtained, it's Evans. Yep. Bottle. Not benefit. Wait, examine canter. Barely crystal decanter. Would have needed to be picked up and thrown down with some force to break. Evan and Ness's fingerprints are on it, which I already knew. Prints from a size 14 foot. Um, call foot sizes. Crud. Didn't fall into the jetty, from the jetty into the river. Kimmy's a size 6.5. Shoe sizes. Dang it. Shoe sizes. Okay. I know there was a way for me to check. And I can't remember what it was. Puddle. Puddles of whiskey are staggered at regular intervals, both on and off the path, almost as if whoever was responsible for them was also staggering. This doesn't bode well. But the puddles continue up here. Most of the spilled liquid you see here has been absorbed by the grass, but you can still smell it. This is definitely alcohol. It's unmistakably Canadian whiskey. Where does the trail end, is the question. Pun. You can still smell alcohol. Okay, so this is the trail out from the dining room. Include its whiskey. Okay, so I'm doing this a little backwards, but I'm getting those dings and presumably points. So I'm going to keep doing it. What? Okay. Kitchen seems empty. Oh, the salt's still gone. Doesn't accomplish anything. Huh. Okay. Okay. Let's follow the trail again. And I've examined that hair. There we go. Ah, hang on. Now I can have a look at it. You found caught in the broken branches of a tree. Still have their follicles, indicating they were removed with some force. Only Nessa has hair like this. I should take a closer look at the scuffs. Literally digging their heels into resist outside force. Away from this part of the forest and down the eastern path. I haven't been reading. Oh, good God. I don't think it's unreasonable for me to believe that Mr. Riches was dragged from the jetty and through these woods. I may have already done this. Scufflarks lead into the smokehouse. Uh-oh, yeah. Forced against his will into the smokehouse. This doesn't look good. Okay, so what else am I missing? Direction of the scuff mark appears to lead away from the jetty and into the woods to the north, made by rubber-soled shoes. Mr. Richards wore rubber-soled shoes and boots. These scuffs were likely made by him. Definitely didn't jump or fall into this fierce current. It's more likely that Mr. Richards was dragged away from the river. Gotta be careful, not stray too close to the edge of the jetty. So check sizes. Don't see anything that okay. Escape. Help. Um, so I think, as memory serves, the only person whose shoe size I don't have is Albert, right? Why don't you find your friend Kimmy, or with someone else who would appreciate your attempts at drumming up conversation? Look, shoes. Don't see any shoes. Look, Albert. As a stately, welcome gentleman in his 50s, his smile gives him an elegant air, and to represent him as an expert mineralogist to verify the diamond claim in crimson. You have a hard time imagining him doing field work. He's busily writing at his desk. He must be preparing his field report. How do I find out what size of shoes he is wearing? What? Ask about Albert's shoes. Funny you should ask, but I do possess a talent for guessing shoe sizes on sight. Finally, it has certainly come in handy in my line of work. Mr. Respo wears a size 12. He keeps a nice shine on them, though they look like they're half a size too small for him. Gotten everyone's shoe sizes, that should come in handy. Corvus wears a size 14. He was involved in the altercation at the jetty. I think I figured out a few things. Mr. Richards didn't drunkenly wander off into the woods, slip and fall off the jetty into the water, or drown himself. He was dragged into the woods, most likely by Corvus. I think further investigation around the smokehouse is in order. Okay, now I can go back downstairs. I didn't think to ask. I don't know how that thought sprung into my head so readily. Will Nathan let me in now? Drown himself, dragged into the woods, most likely by Corvus. I think further investigation around the smokehouse is in order. Ooh, are those? Let's look around. There's an overgrown path leading towards the smokehouse. There are scuffs and shoe prints on the path leading into the smokehouse. You can see some sparkles on the path. Sparkles. The tiny, shiny specks are only visible in the moonlight. They are impossible to examine closely. Examine shoe prints. Size 14 and size 8 shoes. I know Mr. Richards wears size 12 shoes, so he certainly didn't make these. According to what I've deduced, Nessa and Corvus attacked Mr. Richards at the jetty and dragged him into the smokehouse. The shoe prints are all over the jetty and leading to the smokehouse. The scuff marks I've found come from rubber-soled shoes of the kind that Mr. Richards wears. No one else at the lodge wears boots or shoes with rubber soles. Some of Nessa's hair was caught in a tree between the jetty and the smokehouse. That's definitely unusual. Nessa and Corvus were discussing something about a will. But whose? Oh, but I remember overhearing a conversation between them about looking for evidence in Nessa's father's will. Could this have something to do with that? I'm satisfied with my investigation so far. It's time to go inside the smokehouse and share what I've learned with Nathan. Okay. Nathan, I have a theory about what's happened to Evan. I'm listening. There are shoe prints all over the jetty leading into the smokehouse. Yes, I saw those, but I have no idea who those could belong to. I do. I did a bit of detective work and learned the shoe sizes of everyone in the lodge. You did? I certainly did. And according to my findings, I've concluded that Nessa and Corvus dragged Mr. Richards off the jetty and into the smokehouse. That makes a lot of sense to me, Nancy. But where is he now? That's what we need to find out. You're absolutely right about that. Please let me take a look in here and see what I can find. You've done very well, Nancy. Maybe you can figure out where Evan is now. So far, I've come up empty-handed. Thanks, Nathan. I'll try not to let you down. If you find anything of significance, let me know as soon as possible. Will do. Oh, one more thing. Yes, Nancy. Nessa seems to be desperately looking for something. I'm not sure what. She's made a mess of the study. There are peoples all over. I think it has something to do with a will. I heard them talking about it in the parlor last night. A will? Come to think of it, they were discussing Evans and Nessa's father's will. That was after dinner yesterday. I need to go to Jack about all of this. Meet us in the study when you're finished here. You tell us all about this ersatz will in the mineralogical report then. Good luck, Nancy. Good luck to you, too. Okay, what have we here? Examine salt. Rock salt would benefit from a look under your loupe. Thinking a little handful wouldn't hurt. There's plenty here. Salt. As expected, the rock salt is composed of irregularly shaped crystals, but are generally cubic in shape. They are whitish to colorless. Some of the crystals appear irregularly shaped, more octahedral than cubic, but salt is fairly brittle and is water-soluble, so they can't be just about any shape. Appears fairly unremarkable to the naked eye. Examine trips. Can't use trips. Examine puddle. Is that a puddle? No puddle. Examine table. There are jagged fragments of Jordan almonds scattered all over the table. Why in the world would Jordan almonds be in the smokehouse? Take almond crumbs. Either that isn't here. You remove some of the Jordan almond fragments from the table, taking great care not to pierce your skin on the jagged pieces. Inspecting the Jordan almond fragments through your loop, you can see conchoidal fractures in the candy shell that remind you of the sharpest obsidian. Shiny like obsidian, too. Eek. Do I see an oily mark on one of the almond fragments? Dust fragments for prints. Carefully dust the Jordan almond fragments for fingerprints, and amazingly, you're able to recover a partial fingerprint from one of the larger pieces of Jordan almond. Print. Print from almond. Carefully apply a bit of tape to the partial fingerprint you revealed on the jagged piece of Jordan almond. Mark the back of this fingerprint as evidence taken from the shattered Jordan almonds found in the smokehouse. Look under table. The rough stone walls of the smokehouse, much like the floor, have been blackened by smoke. You can just barely make out a symbol low on the wall and under the table. Examine the symbol. The symbol appears to be a circle within a circle. The smaller circle is copiously filled in with the red substance. Uh-oh. I wonder what the symbol is painted with. It's definitely not paint. Sticky, drippy red and a bit chunky. Eek. Look at the meat. Meat and fish look delectable. Your mouth waters. Examine meat. They look incredibly appetizing. Okay. Look in pot. Large pot is empty. Look in barrel. Course of action yields no result. Is it a barrel or a bucket? Look for tiny glittery specks. You can barely make out some yellow fibers. I also see some crumbs. Examine fibers. Fibers have come off a woven hempen rope, probably due to friction. Could it be that Mr. Richards was tied up here in the smokehouse? Uh-oh. Take fibers. Aren't worth taking. Salmon sparkles. The little specks could be salt. Their proximity to the bag of rock salt increases the plausibility of this observation. So there's some salt on the... When I leave, there's no telling who could come here and tamper with the scene inside. I don't think I'm quite done. Painted on the wall. I must find out. Print. Inspecting the dormant almond fragments through your loop, you can see conchoidal fractures in the candy shell. After comparing the partial fingerprint you obtained from the Jordan almond pieces, you conclude Nessa is the one who crushed these Jordan almonds in the smokehouse. A strange symbol, a circle within a circle. What can this mean? Examine red substance. Not benefit. Taste. Substance. That doesn't look very okay. And then wait. Symbol. I've already done that. But copiously filled in. How do I find out what... Course of action yields no result. Okay. Is there anything in my inventory? Red stents with plaster. Can't use dab. Take sample of red substance. Okay. I am stuck fighting over verbs now. Can I loop the loop? Aren't you a clever girl? um, 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 substance. Okay, but like... Oh, examine crumbs. There were crumbs on the floor, too. At the age of the loop, you conclude that the crumbs are probably from the thumbprint cookies you saw Jack baking earlier. And even some of the crumbs have bright red raspberry jam on them. Who would bring thumbprint cookies into the smokehouse? Okay, so it might be raspberry jam. Wondering if you'll regret it, you carefully smell the dripping, sticky-looking red symbol on the wall. Oh, it smells like the raspberries. Well, that's a relief. It's raspberry jam. I think I figured it out. Nessa crushed the Jordan almonds on the table. Why? I have no idea. Are Jordan almonds particularly dangerous to anyone in the lodge? I should ask around. Judging from the frayed rope fibers, Mr. Riches could have been tied up in the smokehouse after he disappeared from the jetty. I think Mr. Riches partially freed himself and painted a symbol with raspberry jam. He took care to conceal the symbol under the table. It could indicate where he was taken next. The symbol looks like the thumbprint cookies that I saw Jack baking, and their middles were filled with raspberry jam. I saw Jack saying that Mr. Richards likes to stash the cookies in his pockets, and I did find cookie crumbs on the floor in the smokehouse. I know that another name for the thumbprint cookies is Hallengrotta. Hallengrotta means raspberry cave in Swedish, so if Mr. Richards is trying to help people find him, then he's in a place that would be like a raspberry cave. Garnets! He must have been taken to the garnet mines. What's Nessa planning? I don't have a good feeling about this. I'll talk to Jack and Nathan. Maybe they can help. Close smokehouse. Unfortunate. What? Close door. God. Can't remember where they said they would be. Was it conservatory? No. Dining room, probably. No. Talk to Jack and Nathan. What room are they in? There we go. Talk about smokehouse. To Jack and Nathan about smokehouse. Yields no result. Cutscene. Smokehouse. Talk to Nathan. You breathlessly tell Nathan and Jack your theory about what happened in the smokehouse, ending with your belief that Mr. Richards was taken to the garnet mines. You think Mr. Richards was taken to the garnet mines? Those have been sealed shut for decades, which makes them the perfect place to hide someone. Uh-oh. We should drive out there and check just in case. I agree. I'll take some time to prep the automobile to the carriage house. I'll meet you there. I'm gonna fetch Ranger Murdoch. Stay put here in the lodge, Nancy, in case Mr. Richards comes back. Well, I'm certainly not just going to just wait around here. I'll convince Jack and Nathan to take me with them, but they need all the help they can get. But before I head out, should I check in with the other folks in the lodge? Door. Oh, Kimmy's asleep. Kimmy Kashira is a petite Asian lady in her late 30s, ruggedly dressed in knickerbockers and sensible shoes. She seems shy and doesn't reveal much about herself. During the train ride, you manage to glean that her family immigrated from Japan in the 1870s. Kimmy is settled into a deep sleep. You hope she rests well. Okay. So it would be rude to wake her. Margot's dead. No one's in here. Albert. What's happened here? Albert's room is a mess. Clothes are hanging haphazardly in the wardrobe. The wastepaper basket is stuffed full of papers, and all of his luggage is gone. Examine bin. You can see some crumbled papers in the wastepaper basket. They don't appear to have anything written on them. There's a strip of telegraph tape lying just outside of the wastepaper basket on the carpeted floor. Read tape. Strip of telegraph tape, much like the one Jack picked up from the train station. Telegraph tape reads as follows. Carl L. proceeds to sue Locks with package. Deliver package by 3 a.m. Await further instructions. Well done in crimson. Well done in crimson? What could that mean? And who on earth is Carl L? Examine book. Spines aren't broken and the cover shows no signs of wear. These books are in pristine condition. Albert takes really good care of his books. Cover of book. Take book. Those are Albert's books. He wouldn't. Take tape. Pick up the strip of telegraph paper. Wardrobe. Clothes. Wardrobe is in disarray. The jackets look like they've been hastily pulled off the hangers as if someone was packing in a hurry. Open drawer. Drawer's already open. Wardrobe has a drawer. The desk has a left. Look in the wardrobe drawer. Don't see anything noteworthy. Picture. Fantastic example of Albert's fingerprint. Ah. That's right. Examine jacket. Methodically check all of the pockets in the garments that Albert left behind. In the last jacket pocket, you find a train ticket stub. Take the ticket stub. Under bed. Does look like something is under there. A cylinder wrapped in red paper is partially concealed under the bed. Examine the cylinder. Trying to examine the cylinder more closely while it's still under the bed isn't yielding any additional information. You reach down to retrieve the red cylinder from Albert's bed. Uh-oh. I think this is a stick of dynamite. Yep, it's a stick of dynamite. Looking at it makes you sweat. Dynamite is not a standard piece of mineralogical equipment. Take dynamite. Wait, is it already in my inventory? Just from picking it up? Oh yeah, because I said get. Yep. You peer more closely at the train ticket stub. It's from Albert's journey up to Crimson, but this is for a ride in coach, the same as me and Kimmy. He said he was in the first class car. Albert lied to us. I didn't see him in our car. Was he concealing himself? Uh-oh. Thankfully, I forgot my field kit up on the luggage rack. Do you see that old brown leather suitcase? Ah, yes, I see it. What does a field kit contain? Among other things, the field kit includes hardness picks. These are the most important tools of all for my work in Crimson. They have tips of different hardness, ranging from 2 to 9 on the Mohs scale. The hardness pick with the number 9 tip is indispensable for this trip. It will scratch just about anything, except for diamonds. I'm so glad I have these tools with me, otherwise I'd be up a creek without a paddle. Indeed. Good luck with your work in Crimson. Thanks, I can't wait to get started. You and Kimmy chat for a bit longer before dozing off into the afternoon. Oh no. Did I soft lock? Ah, no, it is just transitioning. He's still there. Yeah. And looks like he stole the field kit. and chucked it off the back of the train. Dang. It was Albert. He was in the train car after all. I remember the smell of those cigars, the ones he's been smoking in the lodge this whole time. He got rid of my field kit to obstruct my investigation. Examine book. In pristine condition. Read book. Titles are in German, so you can't read them. She's not connecting the dots, but I have. Some of this thing's in the blue trunk in the upstairs closet. I wonder if anything was left behind. No, hang on. No, this wasn't it. No, it was... Was it here? No, next one. Oh! Big blue trunk's lid is up and the padlock hanging open. I wonder what was stored in here. Trunk. Peer into the blue trunk. There are some old threadbare linens lining the interior and obscuring the trunk's bottom, but by methodically feeling around inside, you discover a bullet and a blasting cap. My father was in construction. I know a blasting cap when I see one, but why would Albert put these in here? Jack let Albert store his things in the trunk. He wanted to lock this all away. Same as how he demanded to stay in Jack's room, the only bedroom with a lock. Seems like Albert was concerned about keeping his secrets. And he's armed? Uh-oh. He was carrying dynamite with him, too. It was wise of him to store the dynamite and blasting caps separately. He seems to know more about demolition than mineralogy. Take blasting cap. Because if I know anything about adventure games, then I'm gonna need to use the dynamite to get into the mines. And I'll take the bullet as well. Because, well, we might find a gun somewhere. Probe. Open it. Probe. Not benefit. Wardrobe. Dusty cobwebby old junk, cane, blanket, old lamp, and some books. Ooh. Probably broken and probably has spiders. Okay. Just had the thought. I think I'm getting the picture here. Albert isn't who he says he is. I believe he's had to sue Locke's sabotage with them with explosives. I found a bullet and blasting caps in the blue trunk. Albert is probably armed and is fairly well acquainted with how to use explosives, seeing as he knew to store his dynamite and blasting caps separately. This doesn't bode well. And I think he tossed my luggage out of the train to eliminate my field kit, so I couldn't interfere with his share of field work. He was in the train car with me and Kimmy. His train ticket stubs proves that, and I do remember the smell of his particular brand of cigar. I need to head to the carriage house and tell Jack, Nathan, and Ranger Murdoch. Press enter. Oh! What's this? The double doors have been thrown wide open. You can see Ranger Murdoch and Jack inside the carriage house. They look nonplussed. Jack, what's going on? The automobile's gone, Nancy. I can see that! Someone must have picked the lock on the driver's side door and made off with it. I think Albert's stolen the automobile. You hear a rumbling. Is that thunder? Nope, that's Nathan. He went and got his automobile. Tell me what you know on the way. Time's a-wasting. Let's go. Right. It's going to be a bit of a tight squeeze and a bumpy ride. It's actually Evan's father's old car. I've managed to keep it running decently well. The shocks are pretty stiff. Decently well? It'll be fine, Nancy. Just hang on tight. You all pile into Nathan's automobile and head for the mine. Mr. Cardinal, I'm sorry we couldn't meet under better circumstances. I understand your reluctance to be involved with the authorities. It's entirely justified. Evan's in danger. I will help my friend. We can figure out the rest later. I'll safeguard you from any consequences of going off reservation, I promise. Let's deal with that later. I think Albert's stolen the automobile. You do? What makes you think so, Nancy? Albert's luggage is gone and his room is a mess. It looks like he left in a hurry. Albert had so much luggage, and Jack said it was very heavy. It sure was. There's no way he could have handled all that luggage himself unless he took the automobile. I think he's driving it to Sue Locke's to destroy it. I stumbled upon a confrontation between Albert and Kimmy. He was furious with her. It was such a bewildering encounter. Kimmy had a map with the Sue Locke circled. I think they had something to do with Albert leaving so suddenly. I must have thought she was onto a sabotage plan, but Kimmy told me she was interested in seeing the Sue Locks as a tourist. He's not a Belgian mineralogist at all, he's a German spy. And his name might actually be Carl L. Carl L? Where did you hear that name? I found this telegraph tape and stick of dynamite in Carl's room. And I found a bullet blasting cap in the blue trunk where he was storing some of his things. I think Carl is highly knowledgeable about explosives, armed, and dangerous. Fantastic detective work, Nancy. We need to notify the appropriate authorities and follow up on this imminent threat. Oh, also I think Albert's got a gun. He's been storing bullets in the blue trunk. And he's knowledgeable with explosives. He was storing with the blasting caps and dynamite separately. I think you're dealing with a professional saboteur, one that's armed and dangerous. Got it. I'll keep all of that in mind when we confront him, Nancy. Thank you. Please be careful. I will. I'll tell you how it goes when we meet again. Mr. Cardinal, could you please drop me off at the train station? I can send an urgent telegram for reinforcements. We'll have rangers at the Sue Locks as soon as possible. Of course. But first to the garnet mines. They're closer. Good idea. Telegrams travel faster than any automobile. Albert will take some hours to arrive at his destination. Nathan stops his automobile as close to the garnet mines as he dares. The ground is rugged, and any roads leading to and from the area have fallen into disrepair many years ago. But if stealth is imperative as well, it wouldn't do for Nessa and Corvus to be alerted to your presence. Consequences for Evan could be dire. You and Jack watch Nathan turn the automobile around to head for the distant train station. It's all up to you now. Excellent job. Kudos on your thorough investigative technique. The mine entrance has been blasted out. This can't be when Nessa and Corvus took Evan. Oh no, my theory's wrong. Nancy, wait a minute. This is the closest entrance to the mine. They were on foot. Not to mention this is fresh rubble. Most likely they did use this entrance, but the entrance collapsed after them. Abandoned mines are dangerous places. We have to be careful. Chapter 6, Confrontations. Double checking. Yes, I am live. Just making absolute sure. How are we going to get in? Dunno, but I'm gonna grab that shovel and start digging. Jack starts digging at the rubble at the mine entrance. I've got to help Jack with this. Game is auto-saved. Plunger. Take the plunger detonator. I wonder if I can figure out a faster way to clear this rubble. Disclaimer! The developer of this game assumes no responsibility or liability for any errors or omissions in any processes depicted, particularly dangerous ones involving explosives. Do not attempt anything in this game in real life. Place plunger. Place plunger. Put down plunger. Take cord. Take the reel of wire. Wonder if I can figure out a faster way to clear this rubble. Now I now have a plunger detonator, wire, blasting cap, and a stick of dynamite. Wonder if I can rig this up to blast the mine entrance open. Dynamite. Dynamite can seem pretty scary, but unless you're extremely incautious, it's unlikely it will explode on its own. Blasting caps are needed to set off dynamite, have to stick him right in the end. Not to mention, a charge from a plunger detonator needs to be sent to the cap through a detonating cord. That being said, I wouldn't be all that comfortable walking around with a stick of dynamite in my pocket. Ha! Right. Attach cap to dynamite. Carefully insert the blasting cap into the dynamite. Dynamite in rubble. Explosive hasn't been rigged up properly yet. Attach wire to cap. Stick the end of the wire into the blasting cap, which is inserted into the dynamite. Wire to plunger. Need to cut the wire from the reel before you can insert it into the plunger. Do I have anything to cut it with? Oh no, don't tell me. Don't tell me I don't. Wire. Wire. That reel of wire looks like detonating cord. It's been out here for a real long time. I wouldn't be surprised if it's faulty, probably junk. Wire would be inserted into a blasting cap, that would then be inserted into a bundle of dynamite. The other end would be cut and would be inserted into a plunger detonator. Then you'd push down on the plunger and then kaboom, from a safe distance, ideally. Okay, is there anything in my inventory? Well-turned wooden handle, it fits nicely in your hand. Cutting edge has chunks taken out of it. If I'm soft locked because I don't have... I'm all set. I just need to cut the wire from the reel, insert the cut end into the plunger detonator. You don't have wire cutters right now, and you don't see any here. Wonder where I could get a pair of wire cutters. I'm so close. Would you happen to have any wire cutters, Jack? I do, actually. Perfect. May I borrow those? Sure thing. Here you go, Nancy. Wire cutters. Perfect. Thank you. That's handy. I was worried I had needed to find those earlier, but nope. Cut wire. Using the wire cutters, you snip the wire from the reel. Okay. Place plunger. Okay. Skirt. to plunger. Insert the wire into the plunger detonator. The explosive is rigged. It's time to set it off. Okay. Plunger. Okay. Dynamite. Place dynamite. Sorry, you can't do that. Tell Jack about dynamite. I've managed to cobble together an explosive to help clear the rubble. Oh wow, that could work. Set up when you're ready. I'll keep shoveling at this rubble just in case it doesn't work. You're going to... in rubble. I'm ready to set the explosive charge. Got it, Nancy. Give me a second. Ready. Carefully place the rigged dynamite close to the rubble. Okay, we're all set. Carry plunger. Away. Can't use carry. Decimate. Plunger. Here goes. Yeah, I thought that might happen. Nancy? Explosive prep. Thanks for the autosave. What? What? Rubble. Ready? Plunger away. There we go. Take the plunger and place it out of harm's way. Fortunately, the wire's long enough. And push plunger. Here goes nothing. That was a bit anticlimactic. Well, it's only one stick of dynamite after all. Yeah, one stick can only do so much. Now what? Upon closer inspection, you conclude that the rocks and rubble are native to this area and are biotite schist. Biotite schist is a type of mica schist. Schist is a type of metamorphic rock. I'm not surprised that there are garnet mines here. This type of schist is known to contain garnets. It's a nice detail from my mineralogical report. Salmon rubble. That's not how you spell rubble. There we go. Okay. Salmon entrance. The rubble looks fairly stable. You fervently hope that it is. Enter mine. Alright, I can fit through this opening. Nancy, this is really dangerous. Let's wind this hole some more so I can go too. Evan's in danger. There's no time to lose. You keep working on the rubble and follow me when you can. Okay, Nancy, you're the boss. You be careful, you hear? I will, I promise. Oh god, that's the gap. Wait, before you go, it's gonna be dark as night in there. Darker even. Take this lantern. Like how she pops her head out of the hole. Jack lights the lantern and hands it to you. Got another one, don't you worry. And you're not the only one with big pockets. Good luck, kiddo. Thanks, Jack. Squeeze the small hole in the rubble and enter the mine. Oh, wow. Seeing the lantern's light reflected brilliantly on the thousands of red crystals embedded in the walls, you're suddenly reminded of why you traveled to Crimson in the first place. If the situation wasn't so dire, you'd be dazzled by this cave of natural wonders. Instead, the red gleams look like blood is beating on every surface, just waiting to fall. You shiver. Toronto feels like it's 1,000,000 kilometers and 1,000,000 years away. Oh dear, it's so dark in here. We need to figure out which way Ness and Corvus have taken Mr. Richards, if indeed they came this way at all. Game auto-saved. Good. Ooh. Salmon stone. This boulder is chock full of red and white crystals, including spectacular red crystal. I'm not surprised Crimson was established as a mining town. Oh, it's a maze. Where am I going? Uh-oh. You aimlessly wander in the mine until the lantern goes out. Wandering aimlessly seldom ends well. Have a plan first, or some step-by-step directions. Okay. Book cart. Don't see anything. Ooh. A shovel. Now that you're inside the mine, there's no need for the shovel. Too bad, I could have used this when helping Jack play the rebel outside. The floor of the mine is covered in countless shoeprint impressions that are leading into multiple directions, preserved in a thick layer of dust. Most of these must have been made decades ago by the miners who used to work here. It's an odd feeling to see these shoe prints, almost like looking back into the past. Okay. You slip and fall into the distant, jagged depths of the mine. Okay. Before moving on, find your way. Okay, so how am I supposed to know which way is correct? Look. Boxes. A new box of flypaper with a drawing of an unsettling large fly on the front. It's very small. Wait. Look, crate. No. What is... not benefit. Look wall. Don't see anything noteworthy. And that's another... Oh. Bucket? Not Bucky. Bucket. A metal bucket has been placed under the machine, apparently to catch the results of its processing. Look. Machine. Get a good look at the machinery. It's covered in a thick layer of dust and clearly hasn't been used or even touched in years. Examine machine. What you can see in the lantern's light, the machine consists of a hopper, a pair of flywheels, and other bits you can't identify. This looks like a jaw crusher. It would closely grind up the garnets, but more processing is required to grind them fine enough to be sold as an industrial abrasive. You see discarded rocks of various shapes, sizes, and colors scattered on the floor under the machine. Garnets get fed into the hopper, the flywheels are turned, which activates some kind of grinding mechanism. Ground up rocks empty out into this bucket placed underneath. In bucket. Look around inside the middle bucket. It's 1/3 full of coarsely ground garnets, smaller than gravel but larger than sand. When industrial abrasives are sold, they're ground fine into this. This is the first stage of grinding. An impact crusher would be used to grind these coarse garnets even finer than this. Grinds. Take garnets. Take some of the coarsely ground garnets out of the bucket and into your pocket. Definitely a bullet. Examine the bullet through the loop. You don't know enough about bullets to glean any more information. There are various engine shapes and sizes in the coarsely ground garnets. Without my loop, this looks like a large rust-colored gravel, but with the loop, these gems still look like small, beautiful gems. The lantern doesn't benefit from closer examination. Okay. Wheels. The flywheels appear to operate the internal mechanisms of the jaw crusher. Wheels. Flywheels are covered with dust. It's clear they haven't spun many years. Okay. Bucket. As handy as buckets are, it's a bit too big for even your capricious pockets. Oh. I can use the crook to feel around. Take cane. Take stick. What? Then what is that? Oh, it's the handle of the frickin' shovel. Okay. I have to find my way first. That's another death. Which means I need to take the garnets again. And look at them again. how do I find my way? How do I find my way? Remember symbol. Can't use remember. Map sharply charred, slightly charred depth, mostly intact. Circle locations, the Sioux logs. Don't call. Does that achieve anything? Nope. No echolocation then. Don't see that like now. Look. Tunnel. Can't use tunnel. Okay. So how do I find my way? Look. Ceiling? Can't use ceiling. Head. Can't use a head. Oh my god. I genuinely don't know what it is I'm supposed to do. Map. Launch map or Kimmy's map. Desk. That achieves little effect. Examine shovel. Blade of the shovel is seen hard to use. Shoveling rocks will do that. And I can't take the shovel. Oh, hang on. Footprints. Here's some pointy-toed size 14 men's dress shoe prints. And impressions made by size 8 women's shoes. And size 12 men's boots. I recognize this tread pattern from Mr. Richards' other boots. 3 sets of shoe prints are the freshest after all. Now I need to track these shoe prints and discover where they went next. Didn't end up this path, they kept moving eastwards. Okay. Where am I going? What? But you didn't... Footprints. Follow footprints. Mingle with the old miner's shoe prints, but are much fresher. Examine footprints. Okay, they kept heading eastwards. So east. All their shoe prints lead along this eastern path. Okay. Geez, I had to be redundant. Gee, I'm glad I was able to track Ness and Corvus down this path. I hope we find Mr. Richards before it's too late. Ah, what was that? Despite the terrifying rumbles and shudders surrounding you, you forge onwards. The game has auto-saved. Just as you reach this firelit cavern, your lantern goes out. Oh no, the lantern is out of oil. There's no turning back now. Sign your will, Evan. Sign my fake will, you mean? If you're so smart, why didn't you just forge Pa's will? Then you wouldn't have had to come up with this dumb scheme. If you were so smart, you'd know that Pa's lawyer is still alive. He'd pipe up pretty quick if an actual will from his client came out of nowhere. This is a perfectly suitable backup plan. It's much easier to forge your will. If you do as you're told, I'll let you die quickly. Otherwise, you'll starve to death in the dark, and we'll forge your signature anyway. Nancy's onto you. You won't get away with this. We'll see about that. It'll be her word against ours. I have to rescue Mr. Richards. My first order of business is to distract Corvus. Aha! Okay, hang on. No. Save early. Game. Distract. Blow the duck call. This is really not a good time. You said you wanted a fucking distraction. What have I got? Throw mug at Corvus. You start to make a move, but the shadows aren't enough to conceal your actions. What was that, Nancy? Oh. Get her. Well, Corvus ties you up. Have to get out of here. Maybe Nancy was followed. Yes, we do. Hungry, brother dearest? Goodbye, Nessa. Nessa takes a handful of crushed almonds from the table. She then stuffs the almonds in Evan's mouth. Cough, cough, ack. Nessa, what have you done? I should have done that a long time ago. Goodbye, Nancy. Corvus takes the lantern and follows Nessa out of the cavern. You're left in darkness, listening to Mr. Richards gasp his last breaths. I'm sorry, Mr. Richards. All you can do is wait in the darkness. It feels like an eternity, and then... Footsteps? I'm in here! Help! Nancy, is that you, Mr. Richards? Ranger Murdoch. Nancy. Mr. Richards is dead. Let's get you out of here. Ranger Murdoch takes out a pocket knife and saws through the ropes that are binding you. Thanks. Corvus got away, and so did Nessa. I'm sorry, I failed. The important thing is you're safe. Come along.
Sorry, Mr. Richards. Goodbye. Ranger Murdoch leads the way out of the mine. I feel incredibly relieved to be out of the mine. It feels like a great weight has been lifted off your shoulders. The automobile is parked down the hill, and there are more rangers waiting for us at the train station. How did everyone get here so quickly? Well, it wasn't quick, actually. I'm not actually a forest ranger. I'm a member of the Northwest Mounted Police. We've been on the trail of a German spy and saboteur who was rumored to be in this area. We believe he is responsible for the bombing of the bridge west of Crimson. Albert Respa, Carl L. A man known as Karl Leffler. You revealed him, Nancy. Well done. Not only that, you tipped us off to what his next target would be. Sulaks. Right again. As you know, Canada declared war on Germany a few weeks ago. It appears operatives directed by the German Foreign Office have undertaken a campaign here in Canada to delay military aid to Europe by targeting transportation links such as railways, bridges, and canals. We strongly suspect that Karl L., a man we know as Karl Leffler, is one of those operatives. He's been apprehended at the Sulaks while setting up explosive charges. Thanks to your impeccable detective work, Mr. Leffler will surely be brought to justice. Gee, let's go. This isn't the best ending, I know, because I missed some stuff in earlier acts. Chapter 7, Conclusions. Yeah, looks like we're near the end. The train station is a flurry of activity. Rangers are milling all around, consulting with each other in whispered conversations. Inside, you can hear the non-stop whir and tick of the telegraph machine. The ranger in charge looks up and acknowledges Ranger Murdoch with a nod. Just the man I wanted to see. Thanks to the intelligence you provided, we were able to alert authorities in Sault Ste. Marie about the impending sabotage attempt at the Sulaks. They were ready and waiting and caught the man red-handed with luggage full of dynamite and blasting caps. Not to mention a 9mm Luger in the glove box. Imagine his surprise when they called him by his real name, Karl Leffler, aka Albert Respa, German spy and saboteur. I would have loved to have seen the look on his face. All in all, some mighty fine work, Ranger Murdoch. A crisis has been averted. As much as I'd like to take credit for it, Nancy Maple here is the one you ought to be thanking. She single-handedly figured it all out. All I did was pass along the information. Well then, my thanks to you, Nancy Maple. You're a Canadian hero. Thanks. I'll warn you now, you might have to be an unsung hero at that. I have a feeling the Canadian government won't want to reveal just how vulnerable we were tonight. It could undermine the public's confidence at a crucial turning point for our country. Oh, I don't mind at all, as long as things worked out for the best. They did, Nancy, truly. Thank you for your service. Now what have you got here? I've just come from the old abandoned garnet mine. These folks were trying to rescue Mr. Evan Richards, who'd been kidnapped earlier this evening. Unfortunately, Mr. Richards was killed and the perpetrator, Nessa Crabbe, and her accomplice escaped. We'll be aggressively pursuing these fugitives. The charges against them are very serious. We'll use every resource at our disposal. Roger. Busy night. Yes, indeed. Please dispatch some crime scene investigators to the lodge so we can build a strong case. Roger that. I'm heading back down to Toronto now. I need to meet with some higher-ups immediately. The Northwest Mounted Police has commandeered a train back to the city. I've been told you call Toronto home, Miss Maple. Will you join me? I'm exhausted. Don't think I'm up for more traveling tonight, and I'm not ready to leave Crimson just yet. Suit yourself. I'll need to take your statement for the report, but that can wait a day or two. Thank you. I'll need a bit of time to get my thoughts in order. Of course, there's going to be a ton of paperwork to do for this whole caper. I'll be trapped behind a desk for weeks. Do send word when you'll be returning. I'll pick you up from Union Station and escort you straight to the police station. Will do. Thanks, Ranger Murdoch. Nathan drives you and Jack back to the lodge. Margot's death feels like it happened weeks ago. Your arrival Crimson feels like it happened months ago. It feels like years ago when you spoke to your boss, Professor Plummer. Ah, my boss! My fieldwork! What am I gonna tell him? Despite the excitement of the evening, you find yourself nodding off, only to be jolted awake when Nathan's automobile hits an uneven stretch of road. Eventually, not even the bumpy road can rouse you. Nancy, you awake? We're back. Once Jack has roused you from your deep slumber, you make your way upstairs as quietly as possible lest you wake Kimmy. My goodness, what a night. I've never been so exhausted. Oh, okay. You climb into bed and are eager to fall asleep. As your gaze falls onto the ransacked curio cabinet, you realize there are a few things you may want to bring up with the other inhabitants of the lodge tomorrow morning. Gotta make some new notes on fresh paper to remind myself. Or I could just decide to go to sleep if I wish. A note has been added to your notebook. Ah! Did Margot have an accomplice in the ruby brooch theft? Ooh. I can't remember. Yes, I suspect someone helped Margot hide the ruby brooch effectively. Who was the accomplice for the ruby brooch theft? Was it? I'm not sure I got that right, but that's my best guess. About the curio cabinet. Yeah, it was Nessa. Should have been an easy one. Culprit's fingerprint was in the curio cabinet and they could... Wait. What? Really ought to review my note. What? The fuck? Hang on. That wasn't right? Who was the accomplice in the theft? Not what? Okay, hang on. Why am I misremembering this stuff? Also, I wasn't expecting to be asked about all this so much later. And also, why do I have to personally remember it if it's in the notes and the game knows that my character is supposed to know this information? Who was the imposter? Ah. Right, his geology and mineralogy books looked brand new because he'd never once consulted them. They were part of his disguise. That explains why he was examining that glacial erratic. He had no idea that it wouldn't be a good indicator of the geology in the area. What was Kimmy's true goal? Watching. After everything I've witnessed, I'm pretty certain that Kimmy is just a keen bird watcher who probably had the worst vacation of her life. Everything and anything can look suspicious if you're looking for suspicious activity. Friends or enemies? I think they were friends. A conversation in the conservatory indicates that they are similarly aligned when it comes to the fate of the lodge and lands. They also met up in the study after that first dinner. It was hard to tell if they were friendly then, but I did see them shake hands. They respected each other. And Nathan helped me and Jack try to rescue Mr. Richards tonight. He's a true friend. Mr. Richards was lucky to have him. What were Jack and Nathan trying to conceal? What was that? That was... Not sure I got that right. Were Margot and Jack having an affair? I think so. Jack claims he and Margot were just friends, but I just can't bring myself to believe him. His fingerprints were on Margot's medicine kit, which indicated he helped her with her injections. That doesn't mean they weren't also having an affair. Maybe this is something I can get cleared up tomorrow morning. Mr. Richards and Margot are both gone after all. It would just be to satisfy my curiosity. That didn't ding, so maybe I was supposed to say no. What item suggests Nessa came to the lodge intending to threaten or harm Evan? The Jordan Almonds. I have a feeling the Jordan Almonds figure into this somehow, but why? No matter, I can't have all the answers. I forgot to ask around about it, but got it right anyway. You're exhausted and decide to go to sleep instead of pondering these questions. Wake up the next morning feeling refreshed and ravenous. As you make your way down the stairs, upstairs hallway, you begin to smell the inviting aromas of coffee and bacon. You enter the kitchen and find the other inhabitants gathered around the table, digging into a hearty breakfast. You join in. Morning light is streaming through the small window, causing motes of dust to sparkle and dance in the light. Jack, were you and Margot having an affair? Because... What? I know you told me that you were just good friends with her. How could you ask me that after everything we've been through? You may be clever, Nancy, but you've got it very wrong on that count. I'm grateful for your help in trying to rescue Mr. Richards, I am. And I'm going to drop you off at the train station this morning because of that. But I'm hurt by what you've just said. Sorry. Kimmy, I'm sorry that your burden trip was so full of so much drama and tension, but I'm very glad I got to meet you. Thanks so much, Nancy. That's very kind of you. Yes, this was one of the strangest trips I've ever taken. So much unpleasantness and tragedy. But I don't regret coming here. Crimson is a beautiful place. Margot was very kind. Jack and Nathan really helped me feel at home here, despite everything. I like Mr. Richards, too. He was the quiet type, like me. Sometimes people take that the wrong way. I didn't, not with him. And he loved Crimson, I can see why. And Nancy, I'm very glad I got to meet you too. You're one of a kind, brave and clever. No matter what happens, I'm sure you'll make your dreams come true. Thank you, that means a lot to me. I'll try my best. Nathan, I have to know. Yes, I have to know. Are there diamonds here in Crimson? Nathan and Jack exchange meaningful looks. I mean, I didn't really find any evidence of the presence of diamonds here. Ah, well, why don't we leave it at that? Nancy, we know that your fieldwork is very important to you, and we certainly can't prevent you from divulging anything you may have discovered here. We can only ask for you to think about what that news could mean for Crimson. We like it how it is now. I do too. And so did Margot and Mr. Richards. What'll happen now? It'll partially depend on you, Nancy. We'll pile into Nathan's automobile. You're touched that Kimmy will make the long, arduous trip to see you off. As the automobile trundles away from the lodge, you crane your neck and take one last look. I'm really gonna miss this place in spite of everything. Turn and face forward. The rattling of the rough road makes it hard to think. The only coherent thought you manage to have is, what will you tell your boss? What could that mean for your future? Bridge has been repaired. You're all set to go home. Ah, good. You are traveling light, Nancy. I wouldn't be too concerned. Traveling light thanks to Albert. Train's gonna leave soon. You'd better get going, Nancy. Oh, but what about you, Kimmy? Talked it over with Jack and Nathan. I think I'll stay on for a bit. It's been so tense here, and I want to relax, enjoy the birds. The fall migration is starting in a few weeks. The leaves will be changing color. I've promised Jack that I'll help with the lodge chores. I'll earn my keep. It's wonderful news. I wish I could stay longer too, but I've got to get back to my job in the city. Good luck, Nancy. I'm going to miss you. I'll miss you too, Kimmy. Be well. Goodbye, Nancy. Yeah, bye, Nancy. Now go on. The train's not going to wait forever. Right. Stare out the train window. It's a clear, cool morning. As crisp and refreshing as it is this far north, you brace yourself for the muggy summer heat down by Toronto.
Your mind is buzzing with all that has transpired over the last few days. It feels like you're returning home from a long voyage. Can't help but wonder, did you miss anything? Did you leave any loose ends? Would you like to be privy to some helpful introspective thoughts, yes or no? Yes. You ponder the thoughts you had the previous night before bed. If I had confronted someone with hard evidence about the brooch theft, I might have gotten a confession. If I'd only found the brooch, where could it be? Rangers didn't find it on Mesa. Could it be hidden in the lodge somewhere? What could have happened to the silver steins? Maybe if I asked around after Margot's death, folks would feel less protective of her and more talkative. Albert was an imposter, no question about it. He was definitely not an expert mineralogist. Glacial erratic boulder was not mineralogically relevant to this region. He had no idea. Albert's actions certainly didn't help his mineralogist's charade. What about his words? Is there any written proof that he wasn't an expert mineralogist? Pretty sure that Nathan was Mr. Richard's friend. But did I miss any important details of his actions? Jack and Nathan were doing something on the riverbank by the bridge. Perhaps if I approached that situation from a different direction, I would have heard their conversation. What about that time Jack and Nathan met up in the carriage house? Could there have been a way to listen to them discuss things? Could I have hidden somewhere? What if Nathan was trying to preserve and protect the lodge and lands? I might have sought out Albert's help. I should have kept my eyes and ears open for that circumstance. Nathan stand to lose anything by helping Mr. Richards. He wasn't at the dining room reading with Ranger Murdoch. I was going to ask Jack about it at the time, but he didn't seem to want me to address that. Maybe if I'd asked Jack about Nathan after that meeting, or even Nathan himself, I'd learn something interesting. Jack and Nathan were trying to conceal something. Do I have any promising theories about that? If I was able to listen to their conversation by the bridge, maybe I would have learned more. Do I really think Margot and Jack were having an affair? What could they have been doing in the boudoir late that night? I unlocked Margot's vanity drawers. Maybe I'll learn more if I take a closer look inside. Did Nessa come to the lodge intending to harm or threaten her brother? That could make a big difference in determining the severity of her crimes. Did Nessa bring anything with her that could have harmed her? I have a feeling Corvus's satchel contains important information I've overlooked. Maybe I should have taken a closer look outside the smokehouse. The area between the jetty and the smokehouse probably could have used further scrutiny. I have a gut feeling that those Jordan armaments are somehow a vital element, but how? I never found Nessa's ruby brooch. I wonder if it was hidden in the lodge. I didn't solve the mystery of the missing silver wedding steins. I do know Margot took them. She admitted... It was Margot, not Nessa. Okay. But I don't know where the steins are now. Maybe I should have made some inquiries. Particularly after Margot's death, when perhaps people would no longer feel the need to protect her. Can't think of much else, actually. Damn, you turned your attention towards your impending interview with Ranger Murdoch. As for Margot's death, Margot mentioned she had aches. It could have been helpful to ask her about that. I suspect Margot had been poisoned. Some kind of a sample from Margot could be analyzed to verify that. How would I have gotten that sample? It would have been a compelling bit of evidence to find out how a possible poison was obtained. Maybe Margot was killed by something she ate or drank. Perhaps her drinking glass was worth a closer look. After a good deal of mulling over, you conclude, I think that's all. Fall quickly into a deep dreamless sleep. You don't awaken until the train pulls into Union Station. So I missed a lot. Ranger Murdoch meets you at Union Station as arranged. Ranger Murdoch. Hello, Nancy. It's good to see you again. Would you like me to drive you home to rest? No thanks. I'm eager to have my interview. Let's go. Right, follow me. You look over at the wanted posters on the bulletin board and see a familiar face.
face has familiar features, but the expression gives me pause. It's unmistakably Margot, but she looks scared and angry, and the name is different too. Margot you knew was at peace, kind and caring. We feel fortunate to have met her when you did. Poster lists her offenses as assault, theft, racketeering, public nuisance. Nancy? Sorry, just lost in thought. Ah yes, that person's been on the most wanted list for a few years now. Skagway was a near lawless place. Sometimes who the criminals were was a matter of public opinion. Sometimes, if you didn't make friends with the right people, you could get stuck with all sorts of trumped-up charges. Does she look familiar to you? No, I don't recognize her. Very well, let's begin. Interesting. Suddenly, your boss, Professor Plummer, appears in the doorway. Nancy, there you are. Welcome back. I'd heard the train would come in. Sir, we're in the middle of a confidential interview. My apologies, I won't be a moment. Nancy, what did you find? Are there diamonds in crimson? I must know. Yes or no? Game is auto-saved. No. I'm afraid I didn't find anything significant, Professor. I managed to obtain some good samples, though, and I think I'll still be able to produce a good report for my fieldwork. Just won't be very exciting. I'm sorry to hear it, Nancy. As for exciting, most research isn't. Don't worry too much about that. Come see me when you're ready, and I'll help you with your report. Thanks so much, Professor Plummer. Take care, Nancy. See you soon. Okay, now let's really begin. Any information you provide will be kept strictly confidential, of course. Thank you, I appreciate it. Nessa Crab is wanted in connection with Evan Richards' kidnapping and murder and attempted fraud. After examining the area, we believe Mr. Richards was assaulted at the jetty near the lodge. Do you have any evidence connecting Nessa to the scene at the jetty, yes or no? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. What evidence did you find? If there are multiple points to make, we'll discuss them separately. One-word answers will suffice. Hair. Yes. Shoe prints. Fingerprints. I found Nessa's fingerprint on a shattered crystal decanter at the jetty. It was made of thick glass. It wouldn't have broken from being tipped over or dropped from carrying height. I think Nessa had a confrontation with Evan on the jetty, during which she forcibly threw the decanter down, causing it to break. Well done, Nancy. Our investigators found that broken decanter and came to a similar conclusion. Anything in areas besides the jetty that would connect Nessa to Evan's kidnapping, yes or no? Yes. Found these Jordan almond fragments on the table in the smokehouse. I managed to recover Nessa's fingerprint from one of the candied shells. It's fantastic, Nancy. You've placed Nessa in that smokehouse. May I have those? Of course. Areas other than the jetty. Hair. Recovered these hairs from the woods north of the jetty. I'm pretty confident they belong to Nessa. Investigators didn't find any hairs. I'll send someone over to take another look. Bulbs of these hairs are intact. That means they needed to be ripped from the scalp with some force. That definitely implies she was part of a struggle in that area. I'm gonna have to keep these hairs. Of course. Footprints. Track Nessa's shoe prints into the smokehouse. I think that's where Sheen Corvus temporarily detained Evan until they were ready to take him to the Garnet Mine. I think that's all the information I have about Nessa and the areas around the jetty. Before being moved into the Garnet Mine. Yes. Fibers. Rope fibers on the floor of the smokehouse. I believe he was tied up and taken away later. We found the same rope fibers. Symbol. Mr. Richards had used the jam from Jack's thumbprint cookies to draw a hidden symbol. The symbol was a red circle surrounded by a round red border. Red! It was raspberry jam. I smelled it. It smelled lovely. The symbol even resembled the thumbprint cookies, which I had learned are called Hallengrotta in Swedish. Hallengrotta means raspberry cave in English, and a raspberry cave could be a garnet mine. Exactly. Mr. Richards was talking about the garnet mines at dinner the night I arrived in Crimson. He said they'd been deserted for years. It was the perfect place for them to hide in. We were able to recover Mr. Richards' body from the mine. The autopsy revealed his airway was swollen and inflamed. Nessa claims his death was accidental and that he choked to death on the Jordan almonds she was trying to feed him. Knowledge that might contradict her claim. I'm going to say yes. Yes, I do. Allergy. I don't think I can surmise that, but I don't have any proof, so the game won't let me. Corvus Shaw's role. Mr. Shaw is currently at large. We're making every effort to apprehend him. Yes. Footprints on the jetty and leading into the smokehouse. The shoeprints on the jetty must have been formed when he stepped into the spilt whiskey, and they were still wet. That suggests to me that he was either present during the abduction of Mr. Richards or soon after. Considering the scuff marks I saw on the jetty, Mr. Richards was dragged away with some force. I doubt Nessa, an elderly lady, could have dragged her brother away with that amount of force. Our investigators didn't see any shoeprints on the jetty. They must have dried up before we got there, but now that we know that they're there, perhaps some forensic processes will help reveal them. I think Miss Corvus's movements during that time are pretty clear. Very thorough view, every bit helps. Anything else? Did I find any fingerprints? I'm not sure if that's relevant. Eyewitness. Yes. Okay. Any other evidence that could connect Corvus? Did I just get the order of operations wrong? I don't think I do. Any lesser crimes? Yes. Document. Do I? I don't think I do. In the middle of the sabotage, it looks open and shut. I suspect his man is involved in other illegal acts. Yes. tape. What? Yes. Tape. What? Yes. Telegram. What? Yes. Crimson. The telegram tape that revealed his name. Yes. I. Ticket. I found his train ticket stub and one of the jackets he'd left behind before he fled the lodge. When I saw him on the platform in Crimson, I mentioned I hadn't seen him on the train. He told me that he'd been in the first-class car, which was a lie. His ticket stub clearly says coach, same as mine and Kimmy's. I vaguely remember a man sitting directly behind Kimmy and I for part of my journey up to Crimson. He was concealed by a newspaper. I never saw his face. I think he overheard me and Kimmy talking about Crimson and why we were traveling there. He must have been afraid I'd be able to reveal him as an imposter if I had my field kit, so he got rid of it while me and Kimmy were sleeping. I think he tossed my luggage out the back of the train. That would be the easiest way to dispose of it surreptitiously. He then hid in the neighboring first-class car when it was empty near the end of our journey. Very well deduced, Nancy. It just so happens Rangers found your luggage near the train tracks between Crimson's train station and the previous stop. Oh my goodness, they did? Yes, your name was found on a tag inside. Everything is intact. It's wonderful news. I was afraid I'd have to save up for another field kit. Your luggage is still an exhibit in the ongoing investigation into Carl Leffler. We found some fingerprints on the inside and outside of the luggage. We'll be needing to fingerprint you while you're here at the station, so we can separate your prints from those of the suspects. After the case is wrapped up, we'll return your luggage to you, of course. I understand. Thank you, Agent Murdoch. Do you have the ticket stub you found? Of course. Tell me about Leffler, just say so. Book. Any other criminal activities? I don't think there's anything else. Margot's death. Does appear to be the case. We're looking into it. Kind of like any other evidence. Are there any fingerprints? Wait, is it just an operations thing? don't think there's anything. I actually have. And if I've forgotten, God, thank you for your time. Set to work on your field report. You write at length about the samples you've obtained and the observations you've made, though you do leave out a few details, such as that there are diamonds in crimson. Professor Plummer proves to be an enthusiastic and patient mentor, despite his mild disappointment at the unremarkable findings. You impressed him with your attention to detail and hard work. Together you produce an impeccable field report that is published by the Royal Canadian Museum and eventually endorsed by the Geological Survey of Canada. First publication, Nancy, a real feather in your cap. Weeks passed. Soon you're immersed in your regular life. You become an expert on the filing system and even suggest some ways to improve it. You find yourself missing the fresh air, the roaring waterfalls, and rushing rivers of crimson. You wonder if you'll ever hear about how things are going up there. Until one day... There you are, Nancy. I thought today's newspaper might be of interest to you. You start reading the newspaper. Nessa Crab's image dominates the front of the paper. She's considered a fugitive and wanted in connection with her brother's murder and kidnapping, and attempted fraud. The article mentions Nessa's alleged accomplice, Corvus Shaw, is being charged for his role in Evan's murder and kidnapping, assault, and attempted fraud. We're relieved to see no mention of Crimson anywhere, not even in the smallest news items. You figure no news is good news. There's no mention at all about Albert's Carl's attempted sabotage at the Sioux Locks, only that there will be minor delays due to routine maintenance. Probably want to make sure there aren't any more explosive devices in and around the locks. Albert succeeded. Shudder to think of it. You skim the rest of the newspaper, but nothing else catches your eye. It's a relief, I suppose. Too bad about the whole diamond fiasco, eh, Nancy? But we both knew it was a long shot. Good work today, kiddo. See you tomorrow, bright and early. Yes, sir. You start the long walk home. You're relieved that Crimson won't become an open pit mine and that Kimmy and her cormorants are safe and happy. Hi, Nancy. Another late night, eh? Got a bit of stew saved up for you. Keep kept nice and warm on the stove. Thanks, Mrs. Williams. I'm starving. Go on in, lass. I'll serve it up. I'll be down in a bit. Okay, lass. Take your time. Mrs. Williams ladles a hearty bowl of stew and slices a bit of bread for you. The food is delicious and warms you to the bone. She sits with you, and the two of you chat about the goings-on in the neighborhood. You're grateful she rents you a room so cheaply. Museum clerks don't get paid very much. Once your belly is full and Mrs. Williams has washed the bowl, she waves you away from this menial task. You step lightly upstairs, lest you wake the other lodgers. Fall asleep as your head hits the pillow. You're exhausted, and tomorrow will be another exhausting day. But every exhausting day is another step closer to making your dreams come true. Well done, Nancy. You could have done better in your investigating of the motives and actions of the other guests at the lodge. You scored 7 points out of 24 during your pre-departure ponderings. You performed satisfactorily during your interview with the ranger, but you could have been more helpful. You scored 8 points out of 19 during your interview with Ranger Murdoch. You could have done better in your investigation of reporting of Mario's death, but you did your best. You scored 0 points out of 8, yeah. Either I forgot stuff or I didn't grab stuff that I needed to. Carl Leffler, aka Albert Respo, was tried and found guilty of sabotage of the railway bridge, attempted sabotage of the Sioux Locks, espionage, fraud, theft, and a litany of minor charges. He was incarcerated in Kingston Penitentiary until his death, 12 years later, of a heart attack. The Sioux Locks were patrolled by the Northwest Mounted Police for the duration of the Great War, and no other sabotage attempts were made. Thanks to this vigilance, Canadian supply lines along the Great Lakes waterways remained uninterrupted. This played an important role in Commonwealth War efforts and crucially contributed to the Allied victory. Corvus Shaw got away, fleeing to Britain under an assumed name. He continued to commit fraud and other white-collar crimes and enjoyed a long, quiet life of lavish wealth. Margot was laid to rest alongside Evan and his parents in Crimson's lushly overgrown cemetery in an informal service attended by Jack, Nathan, and Kimmy. You wish you'd been able to make Nessa face justice for Margot's murder, but at least Margot's at rest where she was loved. Kimmy Kashiro stayed on at the lodge until after the autumn migration of birds, when she returned to Vancouver to be with her family. From then on, she'd visit Crimson for the spring and autumn migrations, as well as the cormorant's nesting season every summer. It's a long way to go every year back then. Following Evan's death, Jack remained at the lodge, continuing to take care of it under the supervision of the Cardinal family. When Jack became old and creaky, the Cardinals in turn took care of him. Nathan Cardinal had a verbal agreement with Evan about the fate of the lodge, but unfortunately Evan died before he was able to put it into writing. Nessa had such serious charges laid against her, including Evan's murder, that her face was put on wanted posters all across Canada. Whether she perished in the mine or chose to remain hidden until the end of her days, she was unable to meddle further in her brother's or Nathan's affairs. With every passing year, everything but the lodge and the train station were slowly reclaimed by the wilderness. The secret of the Crimson Diamonds remained hidden. Nessa Crabbe was never seen again. It could be that she never made it out of the mine, or that she kept a low profile after her escape. It rankles you that she got away with at least one murder. You find yourself looking over your shoulder often, and you still see her vengeful, firelit face in your nightmares. Evan Richards was buried alongside Margot and his parents in Crimson, which is exactly what he wanted. Some say his restless spirit haunts the cemetery to this day, mourning the suspicious demise of his lady love. You have many sleepless nights over the fact that not only did Nessa get away, but also you weren't able to prove she murdered Margot. You hope Mr. Richards would forgive you if he knew. You continue working diligently as a clerk at the Royal Canadian Museum. A month later, you're accepted at the University of Toronto in the Department of Geology and Paleontology as an undergraduate. Professor Plummer spoke highly of your fieldwork in Crimson in his letter of recommendation. Although your findings weren't revolutionary, he tells you that impeccable work, regardless of result, is the bedrock of any scientific discipline, and that he's very proud of you. A few months later, you receive a letter from Ranger Murdoch praising your investigative prowess and tenacity in helping to foil the sabotage attempt at Sioux Locks. He says you're a natural detective and that he hopes your paths will cross again someday. Thanks for playing. And that is the game. And I'm gonna stick around for the credits because it's surprising. There were quite a lot of people involved. A lot of testers. That's a lot of testers. Holy crud. Patrons, of course. I'm expecting to see a few familiar names in here. Because I am aware that there were a decent amount of people in the wider adventure game community that were very pleased to see the development of this game happening. I haven't seen any yet. Jeez, there's a lot of patrons by the looks. It's wild. So many people decided to chip in. Lots of M's. Yorkero. That is quite the surname, that. Oh, I missed the O's. Classic gamers love the O's. Were there any O's? I don't know. Special thanks as well. Game Dev friends, my non-game dev friends, mom, dad, sister, and Tito Cat. Aw. Julia Minamata. Well, that was the Crimson Diamond. I certainly could have done better. And who knows, maybe I'll come back to this and try and get the good ending someday. But that probably won't be for a while. If it does happen, we'll see. But at any rate, it means that there's not much else for me to do tonight. Tomorrow, I am very excited. Wonders of Sodor. I will likely be refreshing the store page a lot to see when it comes out. Actually, I'm gonna look on the app on my phone, because it was saying 12 hours ago a while back. I'm not sure how much time's passed since then. There it is. 7 hours, they're saying. So I should definitely be able to get it into my library before we're due for stream tomorrow. Still gotta make that thumbnail, but that's a tomorrow job. So, yeah, that'll be all for this evening. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.